When my husband was 10 years old, he made a promise to his grandmother that he's going to find the land that she was born on. And her whole entire story is amazing because it's sort of like a Cinderella in reverse story. And he promised her and said, Grandma, I'm going to find this magical farm that has this natural running spring water. And she talked about the mountains and how glamorous it is. And so we went on this journey to find this land. It was a half-acre large. And we found the foundation of where our house is, and we bought that piece of property, and then we started expanding the farm, and we bought about 800 acres surrounding that piece of land and transformed it into this magical farm that it is today. All 800 acres is certified organic. We practice regenerative farming. Everything on the farm is fed with natural spring water. And when you go on the farm, you can feel that it has a heartbeat. It just wants to give.
Agatha, welcome to From Vision to Creation. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me today.
Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm excited to be talking to you.
Well, I think what you've done with Fortuna Skin is so impressive, and I think you have such a unique story. But before we dive into building your brand, what I'd like to do first is I want to talk to you about getting started in your career, because I know at just 16 years old, you were working with major fashion houses like Chanel and Yves Saint Laurent. Can you kind of talk to us about how you got started in fashion?
I got stopped on the street, walking down the street in New York City, and that's how I got stopped. There was a few times before then that I got stopped to ask if I'm a model, do I want to get into modeling? But that was the first time that we took it seriously. We went up to the agency. It was Women Model Management. At the time, they had about 24 girls. I became girl number 25. They had Carmen Cass, Verushka, Naomi Campbell, Kate Moss, everyone. And then my parents said, NFW, you're not getting into fashion, you're finishing up high school. And I was like, of course I'm going to finish up high school. So the agency said, well, there's a professional children's school in New York City that works around your schedule, so you could do both modeling and your career. And my parents were still like, I don't know if that's a great idea. And my mom suggested that I go to talk to my guidance counselor. I was going to an all-girl Catholic high school at the time. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go in and talk to this nun who's like 70 years old, and let's see her perspective on this and what's going on. So I sit down, and she looked at me and she said, Agatha, she goes, I do not want to see you walking down these hallways tomorrow. Go. If I was in your shoes, I would take that opportunity, get the hell out of here.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I bet you that was not the reaction you were expecting, right?
No, neither were my parents. And my father's like, okay, then your mom travels with you for a year. And he didn't expect that we're going to be gone the whole entire year. So a month later, I went to Paris for the haute couture shows, where I booked so many haute couture shows and signed a contract to be the face of Chanel. And that was it. That was the start of my modeling career. And then I got to sit in some of the most fabulous makeup artist chairs, from Pat McGrath to Kevin Aucoin to all the amazing makeup artists, and learn from them some amazing makeup tricks, but also see the products that they were using on my face. And that's how I fell in love with makeup and skincare. And that sort of planted the seed. And what made it grow even more, my passion for skincare, was when I became pregnant with our first child. So we have 4 kids. And at the time, my doctor said, Agatha, you have to get rid of everything in your skincare cabinet. You have to be careful what you're putting on your skin, because it's going to get absorbed into your baby. And I was like, that blew my mind. And then I was like looking at all the ingredients, getting rid of everything that's not good and healthy for me. And then the farm really inspired Fortuna Skin.
How do you feel that early exposure contributed to what you're doing now? Like, when did you connect the dots from your early exposure in fashion to, I want to start my own line?
I guess the farm really inspired that. So my husband and I found the farm 17 years ago now, which mind-boggling that it's already 17 years. But when my husband was 10 years old, he made a promise to his grandmother that he's going to find the land that she was born on. And her whole entire story is amazing because it's sort of like a Cinderella in reverse story. And he promised her and said, Grandma, I'm going to find this magical farm that has this natural running spring water. And she talked about the mountains and how glamorous it is. And so we went on this journey to find this land. It was a half-acre large. And we found the foundation of where our house is. And we bought that piece of property. And then we started expanding the farm. And we bought about 800 acres surrounding that piece of land and transformed it into this magical farm that it is today. All 800 acres is certified organic. We practice regenerative farming. Everything on the farm is fed with natural spring water. And when you go on the farm, you can feel that it has a heartbeat. It just wants to give. Anything that you plant, it just gives back in multiples, and you're taking care of the land. We have Dr. Pasquale, who's our chief scientific officer. He has a double PhD in botany, biology, and he's an agronomist. So he runs the farm for us. He's discovered over 500 different types of plants and floras on the farm and over 80 medicinal plants. We planted 12,000 olive trees. We brought an olive tree back from the brink of being extinct. It's called Biancalilla centenara. It's 2 ancient cultivars that he grafted together, and now there's 4,000 of them. So our mentality and our philosophy is, how can we leave this world a better place than we found it for future generations? Mm-hmm. And for us, it's also starting with the land. I call it modern heritage, learning from the past, mixing it with modern wisdom today and science, preserving it for future generations. This planet Earth is amazing, and the land is amazing. So when you're on the land, you have 2 mountains. You have Mount Castro and Mount Baru on the other side. And Baru in Arabic means to the sea. So if you would climb and hike to the top of that mountain, you can see to the sea.
Wow.
It's an hour-and-a-half drive away from the sea, but that's how high the elevation is. So we have these plants on the farm that we call extremophyte plants. And they're resilient. They can survive all different types of weather, cold, hot. The soil is amazing because it has volcanic ash in it. And we're sourcing all of the plants and for the products at Fortuna Skin from this farm.
That is an amazing story. And I want to take it back just a little bit. Actually, a lot. I want to go back to the beginning of this. So your husband made a promise to his grandmother saying, I'm going to find the land that you grew up on.
Yeah.
So did she not know where this land was at the time?
She didn't know exactly where it was. She described it. We knew it was somewhere outside of Corleone and Camerata region, but she didn't know exactly where the land was. So it was an adventure that my husband and I went on to find that piece of land. And then when we did, we just preserved it. There's nothing around. So we're the largest employers around. People are thankful to have jobs and that were there. In the beginning, I think they thought we're some crazy Americans coming in to build a golf course. But when they saw that we're coming just to preserve the land, they were so excited to come and work there because we're preserving the land, doing something great, and they're also learning new crafts as well.
And what were some of those challenges in discovering the land, and how did you guys finally say, okay, this is the foundation of her home?
So finding the land was a bit of a challenge, but we have some amazing friends that are American Sicilian and Sicilian that helped us find the land. And Dr. Pasquale was part of that journey as well, helping us find the land and going through all the documents and paperwork of family history to pinpoint where she was born.
And so you mentioned that you guys planted 12,000 olive trees.
Yes.
At what point did you guys decide to start planting olive trees?
Like as soon as we acquired the land, about 16 years ago, we decided it's olive trees because my husband and I, we both love olive trees. So we decided, let it be olive trees. There's some amazing olive trees on the farm that inspired us that are thousands of years old. There's one that we call the Due Alberi because it's 2 olive trees that are one together. So that's why our biphase oil is named after that tree. But there's trees that are thousands and thousands of years old. And I always say, if those trees can say stories of what they've seen on this land, it'd be pretty incredible.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And so you start planting olive trees almost immediately after acquiring the land.
Yeah. And I'm a double certified olive oil sommelier. So I have a passion with extra virgin olive oil.
Did you become double certified before you acquired the land, or was it during and while you were planting?
During and after, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
during the whole process of, in the beginning, I think that we thought we'll just plant a few olive trees, and then it ended up being 12,000 olive trees, and then becoming a little bit more than just gifting our friends olive oil. It became more of a business. So what started off small ended up growing into something much larger than what we initially thought in the beginning.
And at what point, Agatha, did you decide that you wanted to start your line using the olive oil that you're sourcing from your land?
So when I realized what we have, the extra virgin olive oil that's so amazing, the olive leaf water that's 3 times more potent than any olive leaf water on the market, these magical plants that are grown in the wild. And when I realized what we have, and that most products out on the market, if they're are not coming from a specific farm. People are not caring for the products from the beginning to the end to make sure that it's protecting the potency of the plants. So when I realized what we have, I said, all right, we have to create we have to share this magical farm with the rest of the world. So we look at also about protecting the potency of the ingredients. We look at how do we extract those nutrients, and we use a sound bath extraction method to extract the nutrients from the plants. And it's done in like a very short time, no harsh solvents, and yeah.
The sound bath extraction, when I read about this, I found it so fascinating, and I have a bunch of questions about this. Okay, what exactly do you mean by that? So what does the process look like? If we were witnessing it before our eyes, how would we see this process?
So it's like ultrasound. Imagine these big, huge vats, and you put the plants in, and the ultrasound, the sound waves break open the cell walls of the plants and release all the great nutrients. It was, we discussed, the pharmaceutical industry started using it in 2012. So we looked at pharmaceutical industry on how they extract nutrients for plants for their products and supplements, because they need precision. And so we adapted this method into Fortuna Skin. Because one of the problems about a lot of using natural plants and products is that it loses its potency. So then you don't have the transformative results that you're looking for from the plants. So that's why we went down that mission, is like, okay, how do we deliver a transformative results using plants to our customer, that they actually see the results? Because usually then the chemical counterpart will work better than a plant by the end of the whole entire extraction process.
So through sound bath extraction, it does not lose its potency as quickly.
Preserves this. It preserves the potency of the plants, because it's done in like within minutes. And we solve the problem of using harsh solvents. We don't have to use harsh solvents with this process to extract the nutrients, and it preserves the potency. So then we use that to build out the formulas.
Agatha, I want to go back to something that you mentioned earlier, because I think this is incredibly inspiring about your brand, is that you guys employ more people in that region. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're one of the largest employers in that region.
And so interesting too how the Italians, that when you guys were purchasing and acquiring the land, they thought, oh no, it's an Americans building a golf course. How do you feel that your roots have deepened in that community over time? I guess because I feel like at the beginning there was you probably had a lot to prove to them, in a sense, right? Like, was there a specific moment that you recall where the locals were like, oh, this is going to be a great thing for us, and this is really amazing, what they're doing?
Everyone was welcoming from the beginning. It's like when they heard the story of my husband coming back to find his grandmother's land, the Sicilians are all about family and, bringing back the family ties together. Everyone is so warm and welcoming and bringing us, desserts and and it's so great. We're all about teaching our children tradition as well. So bringing them back to the lands of where their great grandfathers were born and their family originated from, and teaching them that history is special as well. But the people are so welcoming in Sicily.
And you also expanded the line into ingestibles. At what point did you discover the connection between, skin health from inside out?
Skin health is so important. What we eat, we know that it comes out and it affects our skin from the inside out as well. So it works hand in hand. One thing that we know is that Homer dubbed extra virgin olive oil liquid gold. And then 400 years later, Hippocrates also said that it was a miracle. It was a great healer. And then athletes afterwards, in those times before the games of the Olympic Games and the Greek athletes, they would rub extra virgin olive oil all over their body as well to help reduce muscle soreness and the lactic acid as well. Little did they know, no one knew at that time that they were onto something. And in 2005, Dr. Buchamp, famous doctor, discovered oleocanthal. It's really recent that they discovered this antioxidant in extra virgin olive oil that mimics Motrin. So he was at a conference in Sicily, took a sip of extra virgin olive oil, and he was like, oh, that spicy, burning, tinging flavor in the back of my throat mimics liquid ibuprofen. So he took it back to his lab in Philadelphia, tested it out, and it had the same molecules as resembled ibuprofen. So when you're drinking extra virgin olive oil, you get that pungency in the back of the throat. You want that. That means it has a great number of oleocanthal and antioxidant. That's amazing for the body. So I drink it every single morning on an empty stomach with like a few drops of lemon. Sometimes I'll squeeze a half a lemon in because it's so amazing for the gut microbiome. It's great for reducing blood pressure, and it's also good for the skin from the inside out, for protecting from oxidative stress and on that deeper cellular level. Oh, and it's also great. Do you know about the telomere lengths?
No.
Okay, so then you have these telomere lengths, and imagine a shoelace. And the end of the shoelace, that hard part, that's your telomere length. And so the length of that's your telomere. So that length of that, as it gets shorter, the longevity age gets shorter. And the only thing that protects that length, keeping it longer before the DNA strands start fraying, is the hydroxypterosyl and extra virgin olive oil. So there's so many benefits of drinking extra virgin olive oil for longevity, health. There's so many studies coming out now showing that it helps prevent dementia, Alzheimer's. It's amazing. Inside health, outside for your skin. And that's why we use extra virgin olive oil in all of our products, and olive leaf water as well. Olive leaf water is amazing. All those antioxidants and polyphenols in the olive leaf water.
Well, I love hearing this, Agatha, because I love extra virgin olive oil. So any excuse I need to eat it every day, consume it every day, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I was just watching this one video the other day, and Dr. Guthrie was saying how the only reason to eat food is to use it as a vehicle to bring extra virgin olive oil into the body.
And it's funny, I've actually been using a lot more of it lately. I've been using, even putting it on eggs, on my avocado toast. And I think there really is something to it, because I typically suffer a lot from inflammation because of the things that I eat. I'm very sensitive, but for some reason, olive oil does wonders for me.
Yeah, and not all olive oil is made equal. Getting an extra virgin olive oil from a single estate where all the olives are from that one estate really does matter because you want to preserve the potency of the olives. You don't want them to get fusty or musty or damaged in transportation. You want to be able to know how long they're been sitting off the tree. So we also have a food line called Buona Fortuna where we have pasta, olive oils, tomato sauce, herbs for cooking. So we press that olive oil within 24 hours after picking. And then at Fortuna Skin, we have the LXR6. So we look at the 6 cultivars that are the best for drinking every single morning. And we press that within 6 to 8 hours after picking it off the tree. Not one bruised olive goes into the mix. And we wait about 45 minutes after the pressing to collect the olive oil. So truly, everything is made with love. Everything has intention and is thought after.
One question that comes to mind, Agatha, is, and I love that I'm getting to ask a double certified olive oil sommelier. When you're in the store and you're looking at the selection of olive oil on the shelf, is there something that consumers can pay attention to when purchasing the olive oil, knowing that they're getting the highest quality?
So always buy harvest date, never at the bottle date, because you don't know how long they're sitting in the vats before they were bottled. So always look for the harvest date. That's key number one. The other thing I would look for, single estate, single origin, because then you know that they're all the olives are coming from one farm. Usually when they say, oh, it's a mix of olives, or the marketing on it is, wording is different. It's a blend of these olives, and that from all over. They're coming from multiple farms. You're not really quite sure which farm they're coming from. Not everyone farms the same way. You just don't have the control over the process of how the olive oil is being made.
And being double certified as an olive oil sommelier, was there something that you learned about olive oil that blew your mind that most people don't know?
What I learned about extra virgin olive oil is how important it is for your health. The more and more I study it, the more and more I think it's a fountain of youth for our skin and for our health. I think it's one of the most powerful ingredients that we have for our health.
And
around. It's incredible.
And Fortuna Skin has become a global brand, used by celebrities like Hailey Bieber, Kourtney Kardashian, just to name a few. Yet you're also a mother of 4. How do you balance being a mother full-time and also running a global brand full-time?
I have an amazing husband who supports me and is so great. Our 4 children are incredible. I knock on wood for my family every single day. They're a blessing. And I have an amazing team as well.
And what have your children taught you about creativity and also leading a mission-driven company?
Every day our children teach me something. I think something that you learn when having children is having patience as well. And bringing that into a company. It's not always about chasing the trends. It's about integrity and sustaining to sustain a brand and authenticity, right? Like I think being authentic always, and something I teach our children, and I just love how children are so authentic and honest. Is that's magnetic. People want that, the authenticity.
And one thing that I'm gaining from a lot of these conversations that I'm having on this show is that specific subjects, even down to a specific product, such as extra virgin olive oil, really are universes all on their own. There's so much to learn from every single thing. So I think it's really cool that you've dedicated so much of your life and career to learning about extra virgin olive oil, understanding it, but then also, probably most importantly, how we can utilize it for our health, both inside and out.
Yeah, no, it's great. Our kids take it every single morning. They inspire me as well. They love taking extra virgin olive oil. And they're always coming up with ideas of what I should be doing at Fortuna Skin and how we can do things better. So,
And Agatha, as a leader in skincare, I have a few skincare related questions that I'd like to ask you that I think our audience would enjoy hearing about. What is one golden rule of skincare that you swear by that you think most people get wrong?
So I am a firm believer of not overwashing the skin. Always wash your skin at nighttime and do a great cleanse, wash off the day and the sunscreen, the makeup, and all the toxins and pollutants in the air. But in the morning, I love using our micellar water just to prep the skin and take the night away, but not overwashing it. I call it the French woman's secret because when I was living in France, it's what the women do. They don't believe in overwashing the skin and stripping the skin too much. So that's one of my tips and rules. And I also think consistency. Stay consistent with the brand. I've only been using Fortuna Skin for now, I mean, we're 5 years old, and I've been using it for more than 5 years, but I've consistently been using Fortuna Skin. Everything is designed to be multi-benefit for busy parents, and people on the go. So it's just, you're putting great ingredients on your skin that work, that will transform, and just stay consistent to your routine and rituals.
Well, and Agatha, just for our viewers, I'm sure you can see on camera, but your skin is incredible. I mean,
Thank you.
it really looks amazing. So I think that that's a really strong testimonial for your brand. You've been using it for 5 years. And also, when you value skincare, and that's something that you place emphasis on, you know that anybody who is passionate about this is going to make it their mission to include the best ingredients in the products that they're selling. So I'm excited to try them.
I can't wait for you to try them. I mean, I find that's, someone asked me the other day, is like, what's luxury to you? And I was like, this is luxurious. Being able to source plants, hand harvest them from a farm and deliver high potent transformative products is so luxurious, especially in today's day and age. Being able to eat food that's grown from a regenerative farm to feed our bodies, and the artesian way of having things handmade, and taking the time and slowing down the process a little bit. I feel like everything is so fast nowadays, and I feel like today, for our health and for the planet, like taking a moment, slowing down is pretty luxurious. And being able to get these amazing ingredients from this great planet Earth that we have, and taking care of it. We're stewards of the land, and we have to take care of it.
And Agatha, hearing this though is actually very refreshing, because I feel like a lot of businesses are just solely focused on the bottom line. They don't place any importance on being eco-conscious or implementing sustainable practices. I think it's really cool what you guys are doing, because not only are you guys eco-conscious and sustainable, you're also employing people locally, which I think is huge. I mean, I feel like so many jobs are being lost because of globalization, and I don't want to say predatory business tactics, but they kind of are.
We're also talking about supplements just for the holiday, a limited edition of honey and olive tea. So the honey is made from these endangered black Sicilian bees, and it has so many great properties of antioxidants, polyphenols, and the olive leaf tea is amazing to drink. It has more antioxidants than green tea. But I wanted to give people, our customers, little goodies from the farm so they could see where all the ingredients are coming from.
One thing that I was curious about is, I know face oils in particular scare some people, especially people that are more acne prone.
Yeah.
Is that a myth or a misconception? Like, would putting extra virgin olive oil on somebody's skin who is acne prone, would it give you acne, or could it potentially help with the acne?
No, it can potentially help, because extra virgin olive oil is anti-inflammatory and antibacterial. And so our biphase oil, I'm so proud and honored to say that Women's Wear Daily named it one of the 100 greatest skincare products ever made. It's a biphase, so it has 2 phases, the extra virgin olive oil and the olive leaf water. You have to shake it to activate it, and the water in the oil helps penetrate the oil into your skin, so it doesn't leave your skin greasy, and it just doesn't sit on top of your skin. So they also said it's a non-oiler's oil because it's great for all skin types. People love it. Doesn't leave your skin greasy, and it's nice and light. I mix it with my foundation to make myself a tinted oil.
What are 3 green flags in terms of ingredients in skincare products people should look out for when you're shopping for skincare products, and 3 red flags of ingredients to avoid? And the reason I ask is that I feel that there are so many options now. It's really hard to figure out what's good and what isn't good for you.
Yeah, there's just so it's hard to label 3 ingredients that's a must or 3 ingredients not to have, because everyone's skincare is different, skin regime and needs are different. But like at Fortuna Skin, we follow the EU list, we call it the no-no list, and they have 1,300 more ingredients on that list that are not allowed to be used in skincare that the US does allow. So we follow that list. And I love pointing people to the Yuka app or the EWG app to scan their products and see what the ratings are. I'm proud to say that we're 100 and EWG verified as well. But those are great resources to use when you're confused, because sometimes it's a long list of ingredients on all the packages.
That answer actually doesn't surprise me, because there really are so many different ingredients. And you're right, everybody's skin is so different. So I guess it really does just depend on what it is that you're trying to achieve. What about fragrance in skin products? Because I've heard that having...
Oh, we use no fragrance. I take fragrance, and someone asked me to try something the other day, and I never play around with other products, but I tried it and I had to wipe it off right away because it had fragrance in it. It bothers me so much. I mean, it's not healthy for you, the fragrances. We use just magnolia oil, which is a 100-million-year-old plant, and it helps reduce redness in the skin and also calms the whole nervous system down. So you could have a nice little moment and doesn't interfere with your own smell or a fragrance if you do want to use it, a perfume afterwards. But I don't believe in using any fragrances in skincare.
I have tried so many different skincare lines because I love skincare. I think it's so fascinating. And I've noticed that products that have a lot of fragrance in them really irritate my skin. And I've even read that some people suggest that it could even age your skin prematurely, depending on the type of fragrance that's being used.
Yeah. It's a big irritant for a lot of people.
And if somebody has never tried Fortuna Skin and you want them to try one product for the first time to feel the difference, what product would that be?
Oh my God, that's so tough because I love every single product.
Then what about maybe the 3 top ones that they have to try?
All right. The biphase oil is a must.
Okay.
Hands down. Our face and eye serum is incredible. It's like a vitamin bath in a serum, and your skin gets all the vitamins it needs. It features our Splendorin Cusa complex that has the equivalent effect of vitamin A, C, and ferulic acid for protecting the skin from environmental damages. And the third product, this is tough. I love our cleansing oil balm. It's amazing. You need oil. Oil needs oil to break down the dirt on the skin. So it goes on as an oil, and then as you splash water on your skin, it turns milky, which is really beautiful and washes the whole entire day away. Oh, and then our exfoliator is great. I call it a professional facial in minutes in a bottle, and it features every single part of the olive tree, from the the granules inside are finely ground olive pits inside, which are beautiful. Okay, I named 4 products there, but
okay, so you have to get those 4. It cannot be 3. It needs to be 4.
Exactly.
And Agatha, is there a beauty belief that you had prior to starting this company that you've changed your mind about?
I wasn't stuck on one beauty belief. I was just in the process of testing, trying to find what my belief and path is. And I guess that's why I came to launch Fortuna Skin. But the one thing that I was always after makeup, after fashion shows, and at the end of the day, did do religiously was oh, never went to bed with a dirty face, always washed my face at night, cleansed it well, washed all those toxins off.
And Agatha, you and your husband, Steve, were honored by Pope Francis with the Pontifical Order of Pope St. Sylvester for your philanthropy. Can you talk to us about that? Like what led up to that moment and what that meant to you, both personally and professionally?
You know, it was such an honor to be granted that and recognized for all of our philanthropy work. We don't really talk about much of our philanthropy work because it's not something that, we do it because we want to do it, because we want to make a difference in the world and to make a difference in people's lives. But it's not something that we usually go, talking about. But that Pope Francis recognized all of our missions and all of our work was such an honor.
Yeah, and I really admire that you guys are quiet about the work that you do. But when I read that, I thought, wow, that's really incredible, and that I'm very impressed by that, and I have so much respect for you guys because that's a huge honor, and just because and purely based on that you guys did so much good in the world that you were recognized by the Pope. That's really inspiring, and I think that anybody who reads about that or hears about that, hopefully it inspires everybody to want to do their part and contribute and leave the world better than they found it, like part of your all's mission, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And looking ahead, Agatha, how do you see the beauty industry evolving, and how do you hope Fortuna Skin plays a role in that?
I think, the beauty industry is it's an amazing industry. It's been fun watching it evolve over the years. People are getting more and more, consumers are getting more and more knowledgeable about ingredients and what they want to be buying and investing in. So it's exciting to watch that path and that growth. And, I see Fortuna Skin continuing to grow. We have so many great products down our pipeline, and just to inspire people about the farm and our story and ingredients and about regenerative farming and how important the soil is to the plants and to our final products. I'm excited about this whole entire journey.
And Agatha, what do you think the biggest lesson you've learned throughout the course of your career so far has been?
One of the biggest lessons, and it's something I always say, is that everything in life happens for a reason. And what that reason is, sometimes you don't know until many years later. But, something I teach, or we teach our children, is about family, loyalty, love, and respecting tradition and heritage as well. So I think being true to yourself and true to your mission is one of the lessons. I don't know if it's a lesson, but it's something that I try to pass on to other people, is just stay true to your mission, to your values, and surround yourself with people that believe in that same mission and help, bring your vision alive.
And where is the best place that people can find Fortuna Skin and keep up with you and everything that you're doing?
So Fortuna Skin, you can find us online or on Instagram. We're also at Blue Mercury, Goop, are some of our partners. We're at Bergdorf Goodman in New York City. We're expanding around. So yeah, that's the best place to find us. But yeah, come and visit our website, see the farm and what we're doing.
Well, I'm going to include all of the links to your social media handles, your website in the episode notes. So anybody who wants to go check it out, you can easily do that by clicking below. And Agatha, if you could go back in time and offer your younger self one bit of advice specifically tailored to you and your life's trajectory, maybe, all the way back to the young girl who was scouted at 15 years old on the streets of New York City, what would you tell yourself?
A piece of advice, but it's something that I always did follow, is listen to your gut and your instincts. Always. If something doesn't feel right, listen to your gut. And because your instincts will lead you down the right path. I always followed my gut and my instinct, and I feel like it leads you down the path that you need to be going on.
Thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me today. I had such a great time learning about Fortuna Skin and olive oil, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me here today.